Morning dear students, welcome to Genesis. Let's quickly solve some questions based on Punnett square. So this question says in a homozygous pea plant, the axial flower, capital A, that means it's a dominant character, are dominant over the terminal flower, small a. So they have told you that this is a cross between axial flower and terminal flower. Axial is dominant, so you are going to represent it with capital A and the terminal flower with small a. So this is the first statement of the question. Now the first question is, what is the phenotype and the genotype of an offspring produced by the cross between a pure axial flower, pure axial means capital A, and a pure terminal flower, which means small a, small a. So what we are going to write, we will attempt this question like this: capital A cross small a, small a. What I have written is the genotype. So this basically is the axial flower and this is terminal. Now in the F1 generation, first the gametes produced are capital A and small a. So the F1 generation is going to be capital A, small a. They have asked you to write the genotype and the phenotype of the offspring produced by the cross. So the genotype is capital A, small a, and the phenotype is axial flower. So we have finished attempting the first question. Now the second question says, draw the Punnett square to show the gametes and the offsprings when both the parents are heterozygous for axial flower. What do we mean by that? Axial flower can be homozygous, axial flower can be heterozygous. They are asking you, what about the offsprings that are going to be produced when you cross two such axial flower? Indirectly, they are asking you about the F2 generation. So what do we do? Question number B, here you are going to write capital A, small a, capital A, small a. Now you are going to make a Punnett square to show the offsprings and their probable genotypes that are going, the gametes as well as the offsprings that are going to be produced. So this individual will produce two types of gametes, capital A, small a. This produces capital A, small a. So the first kind is capital A, that means this will be axial. The second one, capital A, small a, again axial. But what is the difference? This is homozygous axial and this is heterozygous axial. Third, capital A, small a, again heterozygous axial. And fourth, small a, which is terminal, homozygous terminal. So this is question number B. This is how you have to solve. Third, what is the phenotypic and genotypic ratio of the above cross? The phenotypic ratio means on the basis of the observable character, they are of two types. One, they are axial or they are terminal. So the ratio is 3:1. 1 axial, 2 and 3. 3:1. And the genotypic ratio will be 1:2:1. Why? There is one homozygous axial, two heterozygous axial and one homozygous terminal. Now let us solve another question. In this, a pea plant which is homozygous for green pods which are inflated, capital G, capital I, they have provided you the genotype, is crossed with a homozygous plant for yellow pod which is constricted, small g, small I. Very clearly this is an example of a dihybrid cross. So the first question is, give the phenotypic and the genotypic ratio of the F1 generation. It is very clear that even without a Punnett square you can predict the phenotypic ratio of the F1 generation. The cross is capital G, capital I crossed with small g, small I. So in the F1 generation, this individual will produce gamete which is plant capital G, I, and this plant will produce gamete small g, small I. So when they combine, capital G, capital I, small I is what the F1 generation genotype is, and the phenotype will be green inflated pod. So the plant will be produced with green inflated pod. The second question is, write the phenotypic ratio of the F2 generation. So the moment you want to write down the phenotypic ratio, even without Punnett square, you know that in case of a dihybrid cross, the phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1. We do not have to draw Punnett square yet. Third question is, write the possible combination of gametes that can be obtained if two F1 hybrids are crossed. So this is one F1 hybrid. They are asking you what are the possible gametes that can be found when two F1 hybrids are crossed. If you remember in my video, I told you for dihybrid cross you need not write everything in the Punnett square, but you just have to write the gametes, the possible combination of gametes that are going to be produced. So I'm just going to write the possible combination of gametes that can be produced. So this individual will produce 4 kinds of gametes, and so will the other one. That's all. You are going to draw this Punnett square and you will write the gametes produced by this individual. Capital G, capital I, capital G, small g, capital I, small g, small I. Same gametes are going to be produced here. Capital G, capital I, capital G, small I, small g, capital I, small g, small I. That's all. You do not have to write the combinations here because that's beyond our syllabus. They have only asked you to write the possible combinations of gametes that can be obtained if two F1 hybrids are crossed. That's all. Now one more question that can be asked is, how are these F1 hybrids crossed? What kind of a pollination is that? Your answer will be self-pollination. Remember one thing, when we are producing F2 generation from the F1 generation, we self-pollinate two F1 generation individuals. So this is one F1 generation and this is another F1 generation, and we self-pollinate them. Dear students, keep posting your doubts. This really helps me in making more videos, and do not forget to share and subscribe my channel.